Today over here on Katie Goes Platinum, I am celebrating 8,000 YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much. This would not have been possible without you. You might not know this, but I had a couple of years where I could not make any YouTube videos because I had a bad case of stage fright. But my readers and my viewers kept asking me to please make more videos, and thank you so much for pushing me. I'm so glad I listened to you. Now I'm actually having fun making YouTube videos, which I never would have thought possible. Now last week I asked my blog readers and my YouTube viewers to send me all of your gray hair questions, and I got a lot of responses, and I really appreciate it. Some of your questions were about the gray hair transition process, some of them were about gray hair care and products, and some of them were even a bit personal. So today I am going to answer all of your questions, as well as asking you some questions and also providing some feedback on my goals for this channel in 2024. So grab a beverage of your choice, curl up on the couch with me, and we'll have a little casual Silver Sister chit chat. Before we begin, I just wanted to point out to you that we are going to be discussing a lot of things here. So if I think there are any blog posts or videos that will help further elaborate on what I'm talking about, I will link them in the video description box below. And I'll also provide an Amazon shopping list so that you can shop any products I mention from this video, all in the same place. Okay, the first question is, if you're going gray cold turkey, how do you find the patience to wait for all the dye to be cut off? In my own case, patience came easy for me because I knew that for me, cutting my hair short and going gray quickly would be way too traumatic. I wanted to do it slowly, so I didn't even really have to find any patience. It was built into the process for me. But if the waiting is bothering you, you get sick of seeing those dyed, damaged ends, but you don't want to lose too much length, one idea is to have your hair cut into a graduated bob. That way, you keep the length here so that when you look in the mirror, you still look like yourself. But in the back, you could have it cut all the way up to here. That's what I did. I had my hair cut almost all the way up to the nape of my neck. Actually, it was to the nape of my neck, but it gradually went down to about here. So when I looked in the mirror, I still felt like me, but I lost a lot of that damaged length in the back. If your hair is shorter, finding patience should be a little easier, but if it's not for any reason, you can always cover up parts of your hair with headbands, scarves, with hats. You can wear wigs. I mean, you have many options. I have a video all about how to go gray without a demarcation line. I'll link that below. And that gives you some of the ways that you can hide the parts of your hair that are driving you crazy while you are going gray. Now, those are just a couple of practical tips, but the main thing to help you find patience when you're going gray is to make going gray fun. Now, here's just one example of how to make it fun. Every week, or every month, take a photo in front of the same backdrop in the same exact pose. And when you are all done with your transition, you could make a really cool time-lapse video. A lot of women do that, and it kind of gives them an incentive to keep going. Now, the same reader asked, how can I be sure to grow thick and healthy gray hair? Unfortunately, a lot of that is really up to genetics. So if you had thick and healthy hair as a child, your gray hair will probably be thick and healthy as well. If for some reason your gray hair is not thick and you want to give it some volume, there are many different products you can use. One of them that I recommend is Boldify Thickening Spray. You spray it on your hair and you just kind of work it through, and it really does create extra volume. Now, the only thing I would caution you is do not use it with hot tools. I did that and I caramelized my hair, so now I recommend only using thickening sprays if you are air drying. If thickening sprays don't sound good to you, you could also have your hairdresser put in extra layers. Whether your hair is long or short, extra layers definitely give you some more volume. In terms of your hair health, I'm fairly confident in predicting that your gray hair will be healthier than your dyed hair. I took a poll amongst my readers, and a lot of us found that that was the case. For example, hair loss. A lot of us thought that our hair was falling out due to menopause, but once we stopped dyeing, our hair loss stopped. Another thing that happened to a lot of us is that our hair is shinier. I don't use any shine products on my hair anymore. This is all natural, and it's glossy. Believe me, when I was dyeing my hair, it was dry, it was dull, and all of that went away once I stopped dyeing, and I'm pretty confident that will happen to you too. Another reader asked, what's the easiest way to let go and let gray prevail? I think the easiest way is just to remember why you went gray in the first place. Deciding to go gray is not easy in our culture. So once you make that decision to go gray, you've already won half the battle. Just remind yourself over and over again, if necessary, why you're going gray, and the whole process will be easier for you. Write it down, tape it to your bathroom mirror, and when you're having a bad gray hair day, look in the mirror and remember why. and I'm sure that you'll find it much easier. The next question is from a lady who's 8 months into going gray through the dye strip technique. And she asked my opinion on whether she could be successful using Overtone or dye to cover the brassy orange parts of her still dyed hair without hurting the gray root. Now, the safest option is just to use a blue shampoo. Blue shampoo neutralizes orange tones in brassy, fading brunette dyed hair. So what I would recommend is just taking Joico Color Valance Blue Shampoo, that's my favorite, putting it on those brassy orange ends. And don't worry if it touches your silver, because if it does, all it will do is make it brighter. It will not hurt it. However, let's be 100% transparent here. At some point, blue shampoo stops working. My own fading brunette hair got so brassy and orange that no blue shampoo could touch it towards the end of my transition. The first thing I tried was Overtone, but it did not really help me that much. I did a video about it and I was trying to be enthusiastic about it, but honestly, it really wasn't doing almost anything for my brassy orange hair. I reached out to Overtone at the time to ask them why, and they said my dyed fading brunette hair was still just too dark for their products to be effective. So I don't really recommend Overtone if you are transitioning from very dark hair. You could try using a semi-permanent dye to cover the brassy bits, but just know that you have a good chance of permanently staining your gray hair, because even if it says semi-permanent, it's going to permanently stain your gray hair. Believe me, it's almost impossible to get out. So I would be very, very cautious. Okay, the next question is one of the most popular questions I get on my blog, and that is, how long does it take to grow out your gray hair? Well, the answer is it depends. It really depends on how long you want to grow out your gray roots. So just to give you an idea, if you buzz off your dyed hair, you could be gray in a matter of seconds. But if you have a pixie cut and you're going gray cold turkey, it could take 3 to 6 months depending on how fast your hair grows. Now, for people like me who want to grow our gray roots out to shoulder length, it can take on average 2 to 3 years. The next question is from a woman who is 6 months into growing out her gray hair cold turkey. She asked me what my survival tips and encouragement are for a person who is growing out their hair this way. So as I said earlier, remember why you're doing this. That goes a long way. Patience, resilience, and a sense of humor are key. Those are 3 character traits that will really help you with this process. Realize that only you know the right way of going gray for you. You might be halfway into going gray a certain way and realize it's not really working for you. Feel free to pivot. You don't have to stick with the method that you started with. It might set you back a little, but if you'd be happier and you still want to go gray, then don't feel like you're stuck with one method. Have fun with it. Think of it as a science experiment, but you are the scientist and you're the subject of the experiment. It's really cool and it's a fun process to witness and to be part of, and it's your own body that's going through this transformation. So think of it from the fun angle and you'll have a lot better time. And here's a little encouragement for you. Going gray is awesome. It's not just that you might end up with beautiful, healthy hair, but you also get to reclaim your time and money, and that is invaluable. You're no longer stuck in that endless cycle of chasing your roots. Also, think about it. When was the last time you got to completely reinvent yourself? For many of us, the last time we got to reinvent ourselves was when we were teenagers heading off into college. So as adults, sometimes you can find yourself kind of stuck in a rut, but going gray can pull you out of that rut. It's rebellious and fun and cool, and it's fun to start figuring out who the new you is. You're no longer hiding a part of yourself to pretend to still be the old you. Now you get to find who the new you is, and it's a blast. Okay, the last question is one of the most major questions that women send me about their gray hair transition, and that is, will my husband still love me if I go gray? Of course, if you love your husband and you find him attractive, you want him to love you and find you attractive. But let me ask you this. Does your husband still look the same as he did in his 20s? Does he dye his hair? Why are some of us harder on ourselves than on our husbands? And why are some husbands harder on their wives than they are on themselves? Now, the good news is a lot of us find that our husbands have turned out to be our biggest gray hair supporters and cheerleaders. And I can tell you right now that I hear from a lot of men who love gray hair and they wish their wives would stop dyeing their hair. So let's say that your husband isn't on board with your transition. Well, it's still your hair and your body, and you need to figure out what works for you. You're the one putting potentially damaging and potentially toxic chemicals on your head every month, and you're also spending a lot of time and money on it. So to me, that means that you're the one who gets to decide if you're done doing all this. If your husband loved and supported you while you had dyed hair, I'm sure he will love and support you with gray hair too. Now it's time to talk about gray hair products. But before we do, I have a favor to ask you. If you're finding this video helpful, fun, or informative, will you do me a favor? Press the like button and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, here's a great question. What is the best and most natural product to use for yellowing? Luckily, I have a great product to suggest suggest to you. The most natural, non-toxic product I can recommend is QuickSilverHair Clay by Joli Campbell. I love this product. I use it myself at least once a month. It clarifies my hair, removes yellowing caused by pollution and by product buildup and mineral buildup, and it leaves my gray hair soft and bright. I love it. But it won't remove yellowing caused by heat or sun damage. Nothing will remove yellowing caused by those two things except for cutting off the damage. However, you can neutralize the yellow tones, in other words, just hide them, by using purple shampoos. If you're looking for a mostly natural purple shampoo, one that is cruelty-free and made in Canada, which is a bonus, I would highly recommend the BTW Company's purple shampoo. It's a great product and it's now available in a fragrance-free version, which is amazing because I don't think there are any other ones like that on the market right now. Another question I got was, what thermal protectant do I recommend? There are so many good ones on the market, but my absolute favorite one is the Scene Blowout Cream. I coat my hair in it every time I use a hot tool, but I also use it even when I'm just air drying. And the reason I do that is because it's a UV protectant, so it protects your hair from the sun's rays. It also protects your hair from pollution, and it protects your hair up to 450 degrees with a hot tool. Living in sunny California where we have pollution and a ton of sun, I really love to use this product all the time. I feel like it's done a great job of keeping the yellowing out of my hair since I started using it. The next question I got was from my friend Sandra. Hello, Sandra. She asked me what are the best hair masks for gray hair. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't actually tested a whole lot of hair masks, and there are hair masks for all different kinds of hair and for different issues with hair, not just gray hair, of course. But I have tried 3 masks, and these are the ones that I recommend. This is the Pre-Shampoo mask by Prose. It is a highly concentrated moisturizing mask that is custom built for your particular hair. You go on the Prose website, you fill out a very detailed questionnaire, and they will make it for you, and it will be custom built just for your hair. You mainly use the Prose mask on your ends, which is great because my ends tend to get dry sooner than other parts of my hair, I guess because, let's face it, it's old hair. And so the Prose has really helped with that. But if you want to deep condition your whole head of hair, I highly recommend this one, which I'm not sure how to pronounce. Is it Mila? Babasu and Mint Deep Conditioning Mask. I love this one. It smells fantastic. I'm going to open it up and smell it right now. It really smells like you're going to a fancy spa. Ooh, it almost made me feel drunk for a second. It is a little fragrant, so if you don't like fragrance, you might want to not use this one. But it smells fantastic. It feels great. You just leave it on your hair, make it very moisturized, and it lasts for a while. I love the way it works on my hair. Now, the only other mask I've really tried is the Bold Unique Purple Hair Mask. I'll show it to you right now. It looks like this. But to be honest, I actually don't find it as strong as just using the Bold Unique shampoo conditioner. Those two do a great job neutralizing the yellow tones in your hair and really brightening it up. My next question was from a woman who's a mail carrier, and she's out in the sun all day, and she wanted to know what products I recommend. The number one product I recommend to protect your hair from the sun is a really good UV resistant hat. I have this one from Wallaroo. I have several hats by them. I absolutely adore them. They are great. They have wide brims. They have built-in UV protection. And just to give your hair a little extra protection, make sure you coat it in something like that Scene Blowout Cream. Put your hair in a bun if it's longish like mine is, and stick it under that hat so that you're very safe and your hair won't get caramelized by the sun. If for some reason your job won't allow you to wear a hat, I highly recommend coating your hair in the Scene Blowout Cream and putting some Coola mist on your hair. That is an SPF spray that does a great job in combination with the Scene, keeping your hair safe from the sun. The next question is, do I recommend using a blow dryer or just air drying your hair? Well, the safest option if you want to avoid any chance of yellowing is definitely air drying your hair. However, it's not always easy for us. If you're in a hurry and your hair takes forever to dry like mine does, some days you just don't feel like air drying your hair. But I'm going to show you both options so you know this way to safely take care of your hair, no matter which way you choose. So if you're air drying your hair, you get out of the shower and you don't want to rough up your hair really hard with a regular towel. Instead, just gently wrap your hair in a t-shirt towel or a good turban like an Aqua's microfiber turban and let your hair dry for 15 to 20 minutes. Then after that's done, if you want to, use a little Scene blowout cream and then just let your hair air dry. And you might find to your surprise that your hair air dries pretty nicely when you have gray hair. When I had dyed hair and I let my hair air dry, it would end up being just a big frizzy mess. Now that my hair is all gray, it actually dries with almost no frizz, which is to me a miracle because I had about 30 years where that was not possible. If you do find that you have some unwanted frizz when you air dry your hair, you can use a silver safe oil like Bumble and Bumble hairdresser's oil, which I have just started using and I love, to tamp down any unwanted frizz or flyaways. If you must use a blow dryer, make sure to get a high quality one where you can really regulate the heat. One of the only hair dryers that I feel comfortable using is the Dyson Airwrap because it has a setting that lets you get to very low heat, much lower than the average hair dryer on the market. I think, if I remember right, it goes down to 160, but I would have to look that up. But even with the Dyson, you still have to take some precautions on using it safely for your gray hair so you don't yellow it, burn it, or any of the other things that you don't want to do. It would be way too much to go into here now, so I will instead link to a video I did recently on this channel all about how to use the Dyson Airwrap safely on your gray hair. And even if you don't have a Dyson, it still gives you some good tips for how to safely blow dry your hair. The next question was all about styling your gray hair. Should you use hot rollers, flat irons, curling irons, blow dryers, or heatless curlers? Well, as I said with my other question I just answered, I really think the safest option is always the best. I like to use this Octocurl heatless hair curler. I'll link to that below, and I think I have a coupon code for it. This is a great way to dry your hair without any risk of damage. I have hair that takes a long time to dry though, so what I usually do is I put it on at night, I sleep in it. When I wake up in the morning, I've got waves and curls. And they last for a while. Like, my hair was pretty curly about 3 days ago, and today it's just got some nice wave to it. I didn't really do anything else to it. If you don't like the idea of doing heatless curlers, probably the safest option of all of these things, of all of these hot tools, would be, once again, a fairly high-end product like the Dyson or maybe the Shark or another product that has the possibility of going to very low heat or no heat to get those curls. Your average hot roller, your average flat iron, and your average curling iron are all going to be probably way too hot for your gray hair. So do a little research and try to find ones that do go down to a very low temperature. Another reader asked me if I recommend using a water filter on your shower head if you have hard water, and the answer is a resounding yes. It makes a world of difference, especially if you don't have a whole house water softening system. For those of us who rent, these water filtration systems are great, the temporary ones that you can put on your shower head. Now, the one I have is Aqua Bliss. I have tried several different other products, and this is the only one that I really like. It works beautifully, and it's not just me that loves it. Everybody in my family loves it. We all noticed after we started using it that our hair came out cleaner, that it was easier to get products out of our hair. We no longer have itchy scalps, so it was a godsend. It's not that expensive. I will put a link to it, and I think I even have a discount code for that too. And it's very easy to install. It doesn't really take any time at all. My husband said it took 2 or 3 minutes. You just have to remember one important thing. Change the filter every month. I don't always remember to do that, neither does my husband, but you'll notice if you don't. The next question was, what is my favorite everyday shampoo to use on gray hair? My favorite daily use shampoo and conditioner is made by the BTW company. They're the ones who make that fantastic fragrance-free purple shampoo I told you about, and they make a great daily moisturizing shampoo and conditioner. I actually only wash my hair once or twice a week, but I use them. I love them. They are fantastic. Now, I've also heard that Scene's shampoo and conditioner are great too, and I actually own them, and I've had them for months, but I have such a backlog of products to test that I have not had a chance to test them yet. A lot of my friends have used their shampoo and conditioner and they love them, so I highly recommend those. Now, the next question is, are there any of these silver-friendly companies that offer sample sizes or trial sizes? Yes, Scene actually offers trial sizes of their best products. I don't know of other companies who do that, except for Moroccan Oil offers a trial size version of their, I think it's called Blonde Perfection shampoo and conditioner, which is purple shampoo that works on gray hair as well. I have used those, but Scene offers trial sizes of many of their products. The same reader wants to know if there's any place where she could take a sample of her gray hair and send it in for testing and they could tell her what products would be best for her. I don't know of any place like that myself. I think the closest thing you could come to would be reaching out to Prose and taking their quiz and having them custom build products for you. But the other thing you could do is you could always go to QuickSilverHair.com and sign up for a consultation with my friend Joli Campbell. She She is the expert on the science of gray hair, and she will help you pick out products that will work for your hair needs. I will put a link to that below. The next question is about whether or not toners and glosses or purple shampoos help blend your grays while you're transitioning. And the answer is, I don't know a whole lot about toners and glosses, but I know enough to know that I have seen plenty of women in my Facebook group say that they have had a bad experience trying to use toners and glosses at the salon or at home to blend their gray hair. They have ended up with yellowed hair or damaged hair or dried out hair. Now that's not true for everybody. Some women have had great experiences, but more often than not, I have seen women say that they felt like it set their transition back. So I'd be highly cautious using those methods. If you do want to get a toner or gloss, make sure you go to an experienced stylist who's done this before and knows what she's doing, and just understand that there is a risk that you could stain your hair. In terms of whether or not purple shampoo can help blend your grays, well, it can in a way, because if you think about it, it neutralizes those yellow tones, makes your gray hair look more silver, and so it should blend in better with the silver hair that you already have. So that's a good option if you don't want to take the risk of potentially damaging your silver hair. My fellow silver sister in the house has decided to come join me. That's Pandora. She's my COVID kitten. We have two. Okay, a little time has passed, so now I have my cocktail. It's a vodka tonic from my Michigan glass, so if it's cocktail time where you are and you want to join me, feel free. So the final question I received about products was this one. This particular lady wrote to me and said that her eyebrows are half dark and half white, and how do we handle that? And that's a pretty easy one to handle. You just have to get yourself, if you want to, a good eyebrow pencil or powder, and you can cover up those grays or white hairs in your eyebrows pretty quickly. There's a lot of debate about what color your eyebrows should be if you have gray hair. Really, it's just up to you. My personal preference is a rule of thumb that I read, which is you try to make your eyebrows match your undertones. So like I still have a lot of dark hair, so I try to make my eyebrows go like closer to that color. Or you can also try to get your eyebrows to be about 2 shades darker than your gray hair. Now, eyebrows frame your face, so I actually prefer a darker eyebrow, not so dark that you look like Uncle Leo on Seinfeld, you know, but you want to have your eyebrows stand out. So I like to use a cool gray eyebrow pencil or a dark brown or medium brown eyebrow pencil. The ones that I like the best are from EyeEmbrace because they offer a variety of shades for every color under the rainbow when it comes to gray hair. You can get dark gray shades, you can get gray mixed with brown, you can get light gray shades, warm gray shades. The one that I prefer to use is called Cool Helen. It's for those of us who have cooler toned gray hair. I love it. And they're not very expensive. If I remember off the top of my head, they're less than $20 each. I think there's free shipping, and I do have a coupon code for EyeEmbrace. I'll put that in the box below. If you want a little more information on how to make your eyebrows look best, make sure to check out this video that I did all about taming your unruly gray eyebrows. It tells you how to trim and shape your eyebrows and get rid of those mad scientist gray hairs that drive us a little crazy in our eyebrows sometimes. Now, some of you asked me some personal questions, but not too personal, thank goodness, and I'm happy to answer them. Let's get started on that. First question is, how many times did I find myself reaching for the box dye while I was going gray? And that's an easy one for me because the answer is 0. I felt such instant relief once I decided I was no longer dyeing my hair that I never looked back. Now, did I worry that I might look a little crazy with my gray hair growing out, with my fading brunette dye and my calico cat colors all over my head? At first, I did worry a little bit about that, but never once did I feel like I wanted to give up because it was such a huge relief to me to be done with that endless cycle of dyeing my hair, powder my roots, having to make an appointment to go to the salon before any vacation or big event. I felt such an incredibly joyful sense of relief that I never did look back. Now that's not true for everybody, but that was what happened to me. The next question was, what triggered my decision to go gray? And it was actually a multitude of things, some of which I've already discussed, so I'll tell it to you in a nutshell. I had honestly been thinking about going gray for years, but whenever I brought it up to anybody, including my stylist, they had such a horrified reaction that I kept, putting it on the back burner. But I started getting to the point where I really resented all the time, money, and effort spent coloring my hair and thinking about my hair and chasing my roots. I couldn't take it one more second. Also, I had started to develop a little bit of an allergy to the dye. I got really itchy and it was painful sometimes to get my hair dyed. Honestly, the biggest thing that got to me was all the time wasted. I had younger children and I wanted to be home with them on a Saturday morning, not at the salon, being uncomfortable sitting in a chair for hours, and all for what? For hair that really only looked good for 3 days a month. The day that I dyed it, for about 2 days afterwards, maybe 3 if I was lucky, and next thing you know, the shininess would go away, my hair would be dull and frizzy again, and the gray roots would start popping out so quickly. Another thing that happened is I work in a very male-centric industry. Almost everybody I work with is a man, and almost every meeting I go to, I'm the only woman. One day I looked around the room and realized I was the only person in that room with dyed hair. None of the men had dyed hair, yet almost every woman in my company had dyed hair. And it started making me think, why am I doing this? So between the time, the money, the damaged hair, and making a stand for women everywhere, I just decided one day in February 2018 I'd had enough, and I never looked back. Going gray was honestly one of the best decisions I ever made. My hair is healthier, it's more beautiful. I feel like I actually look younger than I did 5 years ago when I had my dark brunette dye. And I've met new people, I started a new career that really suits me. So you just never know what's going to come out of that one decision, that one habit that you break. You never know. It's a blast. Now, my friend Sarah sent in a question. She asked me, how did I get rid of the what will people think mindset? Honestly, once I decided to go gray, it felt like such a huge relief to me and such a joy that I stopped caring what other people thought. I felt so secure in my choice that other people's opinions no longer mattered. And honestly, that was a great, freeing feeling. Okay, so now I've answered all of your questions. Now I have something to tell you. I would like to make more videos, but it's very hard. I still have my day job. I'm the main breadwinner in my family. And so for the time being, it's hard for me to do 2 videos a week, which is what I would like. However, I might be able to start doing that if I do one informal chit-chatty kind of video like this a week. If you would like that, let me know, because I would like to be here for you, help you through your transition or learn how to take care of your gray hair. But the videos I've been making are pretty research heavy and they require a lot of imagery. And honestly, doing that and having a full-time job and, still being with my son who lives at home and my husband, it's been a little much. So if you don't mind a casual chit-chat video like this every so often, I'd be happy to make more of these. Would you like to see more interviews? I used to do them. However, I had an issue with technical problems on my guest ends. However, there's some new software that's been released that should take care of that problem. If you would like me to do more interviews and you would like to hear from specific people, definitely let me know, because I would be interested. And my last question for you is, would you be interested in having me broaden my content? For example, I would like in 2024 to work more on trying to dress better. And that's partly because, as my mom always points out, when you dress well, you feel better about yourself, you feel more energized. And for me, I would like to do that. And if you want to come along for the ride and work with me on that, from your home, let me know, because I think that could be a fun segue. And another thing I'm going to start doing in 2024 is really work on getting committed to intermittent fasting and eating healthier. I have about 10 to 12 pounds I've been trying to lose ever since I had my last baby. He's 20 now and I still haven't lost that 10 pounds. I have, but it always comes back. And I'd be interested in exploring that too if you are interested. If you just want me to stick to gray hair content, I'm fine doing that too, but I would love a little flexibility if you're into it, so please let me know. If there is anything else that you would like me to address on this channel, if there's certain kinds of content that I already provide that you would like more of, let me know. I would love to hear your suggestions, and thank you so much for being here. I couldn't have done this without you. Getting to 8,000 subscribers means a lot to me, and I want to more than double that next year, because honestly, I'm finding YouTube an absolute blast, and as a person with shoulder problems, I find making videos easier than typing. I will still keep my blog, still keep working on that, but in the meantime, I'm finding YouTube to be a great outlet. And thank you so much for being here. If you haven't done so already, please do hit the like button and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you again probably by the end of this year. If not, I will see you by January 1st. Take care.